ago, they had been, a lot of people think that I started Opportunity Village. Well, I'm not that old. It's been in the community almost 60 years. I've been with Opportunity Village for 30 years. And back then I met Mike and Beverly, and they had been working hard for many, many years before I got there. And then, of course, our fabulous, most wonderful, respected, and renowned judge, Judge George. George is one of the very early founders, with his beautiful wife, Laprille, of Opportunity Village. So I'm so honored to be in a room with people who have done so much for Opportunity Village. And there's probably people in this room that I don't know your names, but you've been involved with Opportunity Village before I ever got here. So I wanted to start out by just saying thank you for everything that you've done for Opportunity Village. And then I just want to tell you that, 30 years ago when I came, I was a young mom of a child with a disability. Chris had Down syndrome. And the people who came before me really, when they created Opportunity Village, and and I'm forgetting somebody, by the way, so important here, because when I mention these people, how could I possibly forget Thalia? Thalia Dondero is one of the actual founders, early founders of Opportunity Village. And Opportunity Village was first founded. People like my son Chris were considered uneducable and unemployable. So basically families like the Pinews and the Georges and families like mine were told, throw your kid away. You were basically told they're not going to be able to do anything, so put them in an institution and forget about them. And those 7 families started Opportunity Village in the mid-1950s because they loved their children and they believed in the potential of their children. And so now, thanks to them, Opportunity Village followed in their footsteps. And when I came along, I found an organization that believed in the population that we had. At that time, we served about 130 people with very profound disabilities. And we were educating them, and we were giving them employment training opportunities. Now, Opportunity Village serves 1,700 people every single day, and 3,000 people in a year. So the people between the 1,700 and the 3,000 are people who came to us, we trained them, and we got them jobs in the Las Vegas Valley. Last year, Opportunity Village paid out $8 million in wages to people like ours who are considered unemployable and uneducable. So it again is a testament to the people that went before me that they did the right thing many, many years ago. I came along as a mom and I saw, we were in an old building downtown, and these drafty buildings. And then we moved into the old 7-Up bottling plant that was on Charleston by the underpass. And the first meeting that I went to with all these wonderful board members, I walked in as a young mom of my 5-year-old, and everybody was sitting around the table, and they were mostly parents, and they were talking about what they needed, and they were talking about the Friday night dances, and should we serve cookies or carrots, and we were having this conversation, and I looked over and there were buckets that was collecting the little bit of rain that Las Vegas gets. It happened to be raining that day, and there were buckets. And I thought, gosh, we've got to do something to get a nice home for the people that we serve. So back then I was a dancer. I was born in England. I was raised in Canada. I married an entertainer. I was a dancer in Canada, moved to Las Vegas, but I knew something about show business. And so it was sort of like a barn raising. Let's raise money. And we did, remember the annual concerts of Love Cork and Thalia, because I'd have to go to Thalia as the county commissioner and beg her. And I never had to beg. She just basically said yes to anything we asked for. But we started raising money with these concerts. And so I went from being a dancer to being a fundraiser, and I've become a pretty good one, because since I first started, I've raised $100 million for Opportunity Village since I've been here. So that can show Chris, and he was born with a disability. I also have a granddaughter, had a granddaughter, Cheyenne, beautiful, healthy little girl. I had a granddaughter and a grandson. My granddaughter, 3.5 years ago, on vacation, fell through a window to her death. Had she lived, she would need the services of Opportunity Village. So you just never know what's going to happen, what's going to come along in life. And so in Las Vegas, Opportunity Village is an insurance plan for all of us. We're there for your children, for your grandchildren, for the next generation. We're coming up on 60 years in Las Vegas. We plan on being there another 60 years. We're going to get into housing because as a mom, I am deathly afraid of the next step. When I'm gone, who's going to look after my son, Chris? So we're talking about housing, and we've identified land adjacent to our Engelstad campus. At our black tie event the other night, I know the judge was there and Thalia was there. We announced that it's a $15 million project, that we had been given a $2 million challenge grant, and our honoree Bill and Susan Walters got up on stage and they gave us $1 million towards that. So, you know, I'm in my 60s. I'm at retirement age, but I'm not going anywhere until we can get this housing sorted out. So if you have any millions hanging around, or you know anyone that has, give me a call. If you would ever like to come in the daytime and take a tour of Opportunity Village, if you know people who are looking to leave a legacy in our community, then there's structures that we will name for people. The last thing I want to tell you is, so when I tell you how we raise all of this money, and we contract with businesses with the shredding, and by the way, you'll be happy to know